Political fireworks have erupted over Katchatheevu Island issue once again. At the center of the raging politics is the way India, under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, relinquished its claim over the island as part of an agreement signed in 1974. The story is not new, and the facts of the 1974 agreement are well known. But what has sparked the recent political fight is a fresh revelation that has exposed DMK's hypocrisy on Kachchathivu. DMK MP Era Serian on July 23, 1974 roared in the parliament against the agreement signed with Lanka to give up claim on the island. While the DMK MP thundered against the deal in parliament, an RTI reply reveals that the then Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Karunanidhi gave his general acceptance to the agreement during a meeting with foreign officials a month ago. As per official narration of the exchange in that meeting, Karunanidhi said that he could not be expected to take a public stand in favor of the agreement, but promised that he would ensure that the reactions to the agreement remained within safe limits. Leading the attack against the DMK was Prime Minister Modi. He said that DMK has done nothing to safeguard Tamil Nadu's interests and that new details have unmasked DMK's double standards totally. He's further said that DMK and Congress' callousness on Kachchathivu has harmed the interest of our poor fishermen. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar held a press conference today highlighting that fishermen community has had to suffer because of the 1974 agreement.
If we have today a situation, as I shared with all of you, that in the last 20 years, if 6,184 fishermen were detained, if 1,175 boats were detained, you all know who is responsible. One of the reasons why we are debating it is in looking at these two issues, the Kachchathivu issue and the fishermen issue, two parties, the Congress and the DMK, have approached this matter as though they have no responsibility for it, as though the situation is for central government, today's central government, for them to resolve. There is no history to this. This has just happened. They are the people who are taking up the cause. That is the way they would like to project it. The fact is, we know today actually not just who did it, but also who hid it, who were all the parties who were responsible for the 1974 Kachchathivu agreement. Also, how the fishing rights were terminated in 1976.
And as the Modi government cornered DMK in Congress, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin accused the Prime Minister of diversionary tactics. He's asserted that the BJP government was sleeping for 10 years and is now showing sudden love for the fishermen community. In response to the Prime Minister's charge, DMK and its allies have cited another RTI response from 2015, in which the Ministry of External Affairs has stated that the Indira-era agreements did not involve either the acquiring or the ceding of territory belonging to India, since the area under question was never demarcated. So the question we're asking tonight is, was the truth of Katchatheevu Island actually hidden, as the Modi government claims, or is this issue being raked up just before polls with an eye on votes?
கொடுப்பதற்கு ஒரு மாத காலத்திற்கு முன்பு வெளியுறவுத்துறை செயலாளர் கேவல் சிங் அவர்கள் தமிழ்நாட்டினுடைய முதலமைச்சர் திரு கருணாநிதி அவர்களை சந்தித்து அனுமதியை பெற்று அதன் பிறகு கச்சத்தீவு இலங்கைக்கு கொடுக்கப்பட்டது என்பது தெள்ளத் தெளிவாக இந்த நோட்ஸ் நமக்கு காட்டுது. இந்த நோட்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இது போல கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 9 பக்கத்திற்கான நோட்ஸ். அவங்களுடைய 1 மணி நேரம் நடந்த பிரீஃபிங் என்ன பேசினாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது 9 பக்கத்துக்கான நோட்ஸ். இதை முழுவதுமாக இன்னைக்கு பத்திரிகையாளர்கள் நாங்கள் வெளியிடுகின்றோம். நேற்று பேசியது, இன்று பேசியது எல்லா காப்பியும் உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துட்றோம். இதில் மிக முக்கியமானது, அன்னைக்கு முதலமைச்சராக இருந்த கலைஞர் கருணாநிதி அவர்கள் கேட்குறாங்க, இதை ஒரு 2 வருடம் தள்ளி போட முடியுமா? இன்னைக்கு வேண்டாம், 2 வருடம் தள்ளி போட்டு கச்சத்தீவை நீங்கள் தார வாருங்க, இன்னைக்கு வேண்டாம் என்று சொல்றாங்க.
Prime Minister Modi and External Affairs Minister has woken up from deep slumber talking about Kachchathivu. Today, External Affairs Minister said that Kachchathivu was ceded to Sri Lanka, but here there is an RTI which says Kachchathivu was never ceded to Sri Lanka. It is just on the international maritime boundary on the Sri Lankan side. This is done on a political eve in Tamil Nadu, where elections are very close by. making it a political issue is going to backfire for them.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Pratyush Kanth and Kamruzaman Chowdhury join us from the first debate. But joining us on the show now are Brij Khandelwal, who's the first petitioner in the Kachchathivu case. But I want to take this first and foremost across to Muralidharan S, political analyst. These RTI documents, Mr. Muralidharan, what they reveal as far as Kewal Singh, the then Foreign Secretary's meeting with the then Chief Minister Karunanidhi. I just want to read out 2 sentences from the observations after that meeting. The Chief Minister, having signified his general acceptance of the suggested solution, has said that for obvious political reasons he could not be expected to take a public stand in favor of it. The Chief Minister, however, assured Foreign Secretary that he will help keep the reaction at a low key and would not allow it to be played up. This, at some level or the other, is being cited as a hypocrisy of the DMK when it comes to Katchatheevu. Your response, Mr. Muralidharan.
Who's talking about us? It's BJP. What's BJP's vote share in Tamil Nadu? 3 to 5%, not more than that. The parties which mean something in Tamil Nadu are DMK and ADMK. They are the ones who should be debating, which they are not. Now, second is, even if it's a mistake done by Mr. Gandhi, what were the BJP doing for last 10 years? They were in power. They could have always got it back. Today morning, I think yesterday, Arunachal Pradesh, there are 30 locations renamed by China. Now, apart from that, in Sri Lanka, they are constructing another deep sea port, also another airport. That agreement is signed. Now, what is BJP doing? Do they have any answers for this? And they want to rake up something which happened in 1974, that too by Mr. Annamalai, who was not even born at that time. So these are political things, you know.
So if he's not born, he has no right to raise the issue. Even I wasn't born, sir, for your information. I was born much after 74, so I shouldn't debate this. I mean, that is no logic, Mr. Muralidharan, please.
I'm saying this
come on, national television, let's speak with some amount of facts. Let's not make it such a light debate also. But in any case, since you've raised questions of the BJP, the timing is being questioned at this point of time, Pratyush Kanth. The timing of it, and why is an issue that is over 50 years old now being raked up? Is it only for the polls? Please respond to those questions.
See, Madhav, the country has a right to know that what happened. The callousness with which the Congress dealt with the issue. I mean, more than 6,000 fishermen being arrested, more than 1,100 vessels being held by them. It has been a long drawn battle for us, for the Indians. Now I will quote exactly what Nehruji thought about it from the documents. It says, I attach no importance at all to this little island, and I would have no hesitation in giving up our claim on it. So Nehru ji sets the agenda कि भाई ले जाओ कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Then comes Madam Gandhi. So Madam Gandhi that day did not participate in the parliament debate when this was being discussed. So she goes to AICC meeting and she says, oh, that little rock. Now this is how a family which has ruled India for so many decades, they set the ball rolling कि भाई इसमें कुछ बोलना नहीं है. Now comes the real story. When in Tamil Nadu, the government DMK is equally to be blamed. It happened in 1974 July. In October 1973, much before you were born, but I was born then, they go and discuss with the Tamil Nadu government in great detail. And it is clear in 74 they say, okay, we will give you this, but fishers can go do fishing, everything will remain status quo, no, nothing changes. In 76, on a sly, they give all the rights away. And since then, it has been a saga and a long story of Indian fishermen suffering day in and day out. And Indian government washed their hands. So today, in Tamil Nadu, or even the Prime Minister, or even the Foreign Minister, they have just did nothing. They have taken out all the facts and showed to the people of this country that look what has been done. You have abdicated your responsibility, you have given away. It is like the Ladakh thing, where Nehruji said that there's not a blade of grass grows there. This is not how you deal with the Indian territory.
Okay.
And this is what the people of India and people of Tamil Nadu must know.
I want Kamruzaban Chaudhary to come in on this. Kamruzaban Chaudhary, it's a matter of Indian territory. It cannot be taken so lightly, whether it is, the reference to it as a bunch of rocks by one observer. In fact, he referred to Nehru, who said that I attach no importance at all to this little island. I would have no hesitation giving up our claim to it, to what is stated by Mr. Setalvad, the Jain AG in 1958, and also of Mr. Krishna Rao, who has contended that India has a good legal case, but despite his advice, India did not go ahead and pursue what should have been rightly Indian territory. How do we explain all this, Mr. Chaudhary?
No, Madhav, I'm not going back into the history. I'm just taking you to the context of 2015 when our present External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, was the Foreign Affairs Secretary at that time. And the RTI reply that he gave that time and the present RTI that BJP President of Tamil Nadu got from the BJP government at the center, both contradict each other. Point number one. Point number two is 2015 December, when BJP government was in power at the center, it gave away around 10,000 acres of our land in West Bengal to Bangladesh in exchange for 500 acres. Was that preposterous, or was that a compulsion, or was that on defining the boundaries of the two neighbors? Who decided on that? An agreement that was signed in Prague, Switzerland, between Bangladesh and India. The BJP government signed that agreement and gave away 10,000 acres of Indian territory to Bangladesh. But do you mean that Congress party coming in power in 2024 will say that this agreement is null and void? How nonsense the argument by these Bharatiya Janata Party leaders during election time. The crux of the matter is that you have completely spoiled our relationship with Maldives. You have spoiled our relationship with Sri Lanka. We all know how our relationship with Pakistan is. It's an enemy country, so I don't get much into this. What about Nepal, who has even drawn a few territories of Indian Union within their own map, and Indian government could not do anything about that. Leave aside giving them a stricture also. Ladakh, how many square kilometers of land has been taken away by China, and the same government is still silent on that.
Okay.
When you say that we are a Vishya Guru, and when the maritime borders between India and Sri Lanka has been drawn, at that time the same island went into the the Sri Lankan side. It's better as a mature democratic and country and a leader of the south, of the global south, that we call it. We should respect those agreements that have been done in the past by the
before I go across to before I go across to Braj Khandelwal, who's the first petitioner in this case, let me go get Pratyush Kanth in. Pratyush Kanth, some pointed examples being given of the recent land boundary agreement between India and Bangladesh, where also a lot of land has been ceded to Bangladesh. So, and this is what Mallikarjun Kharge also replied earlier today, saying that how can you with that light actually criticize this when there are such things that happen between friendly neighbors?
This is exactly what Rahul Gandhi does. Every day he gets up and gives some crazy figure that this much land has gone. He goes abroad, he gives the same kind of story. There is a war with Pakistan, he denies it. He challenges the judiciary. Yesterday I was hearing him in the thing, he said, oh, there's no level playing field. Hum kaise ladenge? Pehle haar gaya. You can only debate, Madhav, when there is something substantial put into it. The Foreign Minister of India today, in just last few years, has written 21 letters to the Tamil Nadu government explaining the whole thing. DMK and Congress have been equally part of the whole thing. See, you can only debate on data and something which is substantial, documents to show who said what, in which meeting, what transpired. How can you debate with a person like Rahul Gandhi, who will give any, he forgets about square kilometer, mile, he gets confused in all those things. You can't argue those and answer those questions. And then what happens in Congress? All the retainers of the party will start saying exactly what Rahul Gandhi says in the morning to score brownie points with him. Indian diplomacy doesn't work that way. Jaishankar ji today in the morning came to BJP headquarters and gave all the documents, all the details, all the data on which our debate is based. We showed what Madam Gandhi did, what Setalvad ji, the great lawyer, the Attorney General of India, clearly saying, you overrule all those things, and for Nehru ji and Indira Gandhi, this all made no sense.
Okay.
It's a rock, let it go. What rock? There is water there, there are fishermen there are human lives which are involved there. There are Indians who are involved there. We don't take it as a rock. For Madam Gandhi, it could be a rock. For every Indian,
let me bring in
brothers and sisters were there.
Let me bring in Brij Khandelwal. A lot of comparisons are being made to other similar instances with other borders of India, other neighbors of India. And there's also one RTI that is being cited of 2015, which says that there was no ceding of land by India. How do we view all of this, Mr. Khandelwal?
Well, in 1974, when I filed this petition in the Delhi High Court, there was no such explanation from the government side, whether there was some territorial dispute or maritime dispute. Nothing of that sort was there. And it was clearly understood by all of us that a part of Indian territory was being gifted away, like in the good old days of the Maharajas, when Jagirs used to be gifted away. That was how it all started. So for me, it's not a political issue of party A, B, or C. For me, I look at it as the territorial integrity of India was compromised. A part of Indian land was given away without, I think, the due process of law. Actually, I'm not sure, but I have to check up. We cannot cede any part of the territory. We can only add. We cannot subtract or give away our territory to anyone just like that. Somebody dreams someday, one fine morning, and then it suddenly takes a decision, well, this will go to that country. That cannot happen. So in 1974, it was a very futuristic initiative by me, because I argued that today our relations are good with Sri Lanka, but tomorrow they'll be bad. And this is what happened in 1980s. Whole of 1980s, we saw how bitter our relations were with Sri Lanka. One prime minister lost his life because of this little business.
Right.
So relations always keep changing, but national interests cannot change. And we cannot give any part of India just like that. It is not possible. It is neither moral nor legal nor constitutional. So that is my stand. That is what I said in my petition then. And that time nobody raised all these issues that are now being described, RTI and
what's very interesting.
Agreement.
What's very interesting, and we're almost out of time, Muralidharan, very quick response from you. The DMK has come out to say that, for instance, this issue has been raised ahead of polls. But just a few years ago, when Mr. Stalin wrote to the Prime Minister on the issues pertaining to Tamil fishermen, the issue of Kachchathivu figured in his letter to the Prime Minister. So, I mean, at the end of the day, to accuse the BJP of just raising this particular issue only for polls, when the DMK itself has been raising it, perhaps does not really work as an argument.
Absolutely.
No, Madhav, let me remind you that 2008, it was 2008, it was Mrs. Jayalalitha who went to Supreme Court. At that point of time, it was the senior counsel, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, who reminded the centre saying that if at all you want to regain Kachchathivu, you have to go to the International Court of Justice, because this is a international dispute issue, or you have to go to war with Sri Lanka. Now, another point I need to make here, this Katchatheevu, this island, it's a Catholic settlement. It was converts and all that. So we don't know what's the real reason why BJP wants to bring this up at this point of time. I don't think it's not only just to take, dig at DMK saying that they made a mistake, which was done 50 years ago. And they're not really talking about, giving away.
That's a very bizarre argument, Mr. Muralidharan. There are Catholics on the island, so BJP should not fight for that land. What kind of argument is this?
You never know. This could be a communal idea by some of those fringe elements who wants to, reconvert.
My God.
Back to, like
All right. Completely out of time. I don't think we can debate this issue any further because we're totally out of time. Pratyush Kanth, Brij Khandelwal, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Muralidharan S. I'd like to thank all you gentlemen for joining us, but certainly we haven't heard the last word yet on this controversy either.